Welcome, everybody. This is your Atlanta United pre-match show. Atlanta United at RSL tonight, 9:30 kickoff. Actually, 9:40 kickoff on the season pass. And Tyler with you, Tommy. This is anniversary tonight, Tyler. So he will not be joining us this evening. He is out with his wife for dinner. A
At a
very fancy
dinner,
restaurant. It looks like.
Yeah, super fancy.
Yeah. So they are having fun. They're enjoying their anniversary evening. So just the two of us here tonight with you right now. So leading that again, get ready to take on Real Salt Lake for the first time in a while. When's the last time these two teams played against each other? Do you remember?
The last time I remember was 2018 because I was at that game. But I don't know if they've played since then. I honestly haven't looked.
Yeah, that game, Atlanta United actually won 2-0. Can you guess without looking the goal scorers in that match?
Julian Gressel. I know one. I'm gonna say Joseph just because why not? I honestly don't feel like it was though.
Not Joseph. You're kind of close. Okay.
It was Mickey.
No, not Mickey. It's Tito.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I remember Gressel's goal though. It was a good one.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a while since these two teams have played. It's been forever since these two teams have played, I feel like. So, yeah, LA United against RSL. No Stian Gregerson, of course. Yellow card accumulation. But, Tyler, lineups are out. And why don't we discuss lineups right now?
Let's do it.
So, no Stian Gregerson, as we mentioned. So, Noah Cobb getting the start. Ronald Hernandez also getting the start this evening, and maybe just to caveat just a little, because I noticed Christian Muyumba is on the bench tonight for Atlanta United. Just to kind of caveat, this team plays a match on Tuesday, US Open Cup, against Indy 11. So I feel like some of these lineup decisions, are with an eye toward that match. But Danny Rios up top, Saba back in the lineup as a starter, so we'll get to see that. Shande on the left wing. In the midfield, Bacardi gave the start instead of Tristan Muyumba. Slish still there. Wiley Lennon on the left and right, and then that three-man back line. Noah Cobb essentially taking the place of Stian Gregerson, Derek Williams, and Ronnie Hernandez, Grant Uzian, of course, starting in goal as expected. So, what are your thoughts?
I think this is as good as you can get right now, considering, like you said, that you have very short rest before you have to go to the Open Cup match. That you have to win that one because that is your again. I know we've we're beating a dead horse, but that's your easiest path to a trophy. So, yeah I mean, I think you're going to need obviously Stian, so he gets the rest regardless because he has a yellow card accumulation. Ronald Hernandez came on at the end of the last game and he provided the assist. But the thing is, like, Ronald Hernandez they try to use him as a jack of all trades. It doesn't always go down well. But the one thing about Ronnie is that he is disciplined.
Yeah.
He's also like 5'7". So it's just not, not your, it's not your prime option, I think, but you get the discipline and the veteran aspect of having Ronnie out there as opposed to Efrain Morales, because then you would have Derek Williams flanked by two teenagers, essentially. Not that that's not a knock, obviously, but I think it'll be okay. And then of course Dax McCarty, whenever he is out here, I think overall the defense just looks better. And yeah, I mean, I think that right side between Lennon, Ronnie, and Saba, I think you're looking to try to take advantage as much as you can. Also, having Ronnie behind Brooks Lennon, I think allows Brooks Lennon to maybe get ahead a little bit more, just because he has the confidence that he has a veteran behind him and doesn't have to worry about maybe keeping an eye on Noah as much. Again, not that Noah necessarily needs it, but there's something about having the guy back there that's played for years as opposed to, the young guy.
I feel like you kind of implied it earlier with Gregerson. I feel like he was never going to start this match anyway, much less play this match. I mean, the yellow card essentially sealed it, but
yeah,
I don't know if he was going to play this match anyway. Again, because they play Tuesday, they fly across the country on Tuesday, and or for Tuesday's match, and you have a very short rest. This is I feel like as short rest as Atlanta United have had in a while. Plus, you have a long trip ahead of you on Sunday, so you have a very short turnout, very little recovery. I feel like with Gregerson still coming back from two injuries to his knee, two leg injuries, that really would have been the tough ask for him to play or start in this match. So maybe the yellow card, in some respects, was a blessing in disguise. Maybe it's something that you I, you want, I guess, in some respects, because you'll have to rest him. At the same time, you do kind of wish he had his expertise, his speed, his height on the field against what it really is a very formidable RSL lineup against Arango, against Luna, against all of the weapons, attacking weapons that they have on their side. So it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be a really tough test for Noah, for Williams, for that entire back line against RSL, a really tough team this year, with a team with really strong attacking options and
MVP candidate already.
MVP candidate in Arango. Uh, won't win it because Messi, but yeah, very
Yeah.
credible team, very talented team, very attack minded team, and this is. I think if Atlantic can get out of here with a point, just kind of talking about predictions, sort of. I think if they can get out of here with a point, they'll be golden, really. Like Dan is saying on YouTube.
Yeah, I think you just look, you can never go into these games, right? I've said it a million times, especially now that Rob is here as the head coach, but you can never go into these matches as or with the mindset that it's okay to just come away with a point. However, there are games where you're okay, like you feel okay afterwards that you came away with a point. There are games afterwards where you feel like you should never have not won the match. So it is one of those though where we said it again, but New England was the game that you really should have won on the
Yeah,
road.
100%.
You then don't even come home. You travel out to the quote unquote West Coast. You travel out to Utah, and you now have a really really tough team.
Yeah.
Salt Lake is a good team, and I think with what Salt Lake brings to the table, this midfield of McCarty and Slish is essentially just there
Yeah.
to, and I don't want to say it because they're not going to park the bus. Atlanta United is not going to park the bus, but this might be the closest thing to parking a bus you're going to see out of Atlanta, because they are going to do what they can to hit on the counter with Saba Shande and Daniel Rios.
As much as they can.
As much as they can. They're not going to try. This is not going to be one of those where they try to seriously like focus on playing out of the back, playing through the midfield. I mean, they're going to play up the wing for sure. So in terms of playing out of the back, you'll see them, go up to Wiley, go up to Lennon, play it forward to Saba or Shande, whatever. But I don't think you're going to see them desiring to play in the actual midfield as much. So again, pragmatic. Do what you got to do.
Your favorite word.
Yeah.
Milan saying on YouTube, he has an awful feeling about this match. He's saying that he'll go all in for Rob Valentino getting the job permanently if Atlanta win this match, and I'll be elated, Milan, if Atlanta United win this match. And Tyler, I'm sure you will be too.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I'm gonna say give the job to Rob permanently based on one match alone. I mean, granted, RSL are near the top of the table in the West Coast, Western Conference, a very formidable team. It's going to be very tough for Atlanta to get any result, I feel like, over there. But at the same time, I don't think you want to make that judgment based on this match. It'll be great. I'm not saying it won't be great if they win this match, but I don't know if you want to make that kind of judgment. I see what you're saying. I don't know if you want to make that kind of judgment based on a winning result. So
a massive bounce back win for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
3 points out of 2 games on the road. Like that's okay. That's good. I mean, I really, really wanted minimum 4 out of this.
Yeah.
But look, if you pull away a win tonight, that's big. That's big. So, but yeah, I mean, look, I think Rob is great. I do. I think he's a great coach. I think he is.
Yeah.
He brings definitely like a little bit of everything from like Kevin Egan said with us a couple of weeks ago. He brings in a little bit of everything from every coach that's been here, which you need.
Right.
You can't dismiss him based on what's left of the season, I don't think. And I also don't think you can hire him based on what's left of the season until the very end of the season. Like that judgment has to come after the final whistle of the final game. So, yes, Milan, he's saying I reserve the right to be irrational. Absolutely, be irrational all you want.
We're not saying we're not dumping on you or anything like that. So.
But no, I mean,
no, we see where you're coming from, though. But
yeah, I mean, this would be a statement win for sure. That's the big thing. Like, if Rob can pull out a win with this one on the road against a legitimately good team, a team that has a really good midfield, has an MVP candidate, is just playing really well right now. What are they? Unbeaten and like.
So their unbeaten streak ended a few matches ago, but
that's right.
They've been very hard to beat regardless. But
okay, so they've lost one in like 12.
Right? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. To the LA Galaxy on June 23rd. So LA's no slouch, by the way. But no, like we said, they've been a terrific team. And just looking at the standings right now in the Western Conference, second of the West behind LAFC. So that tells you a lot. 43 goals this season. I believe that's tied. No, not tied. That's tied for second. Yeah, tied for second in MLS. 43 goals, of course. Arango is a big part of that. So it's going to be a really tough ask for LA United to get this win, I think. But I would love a point. I really would love a point.
I mean, look, the last time we had this same kind of conversation with kind of
Miami.
Atlanta went down to Miami. So like, it's not a lost cause. However, it's just going to be like I said, this will be a statement win if Atlanta can pull it off, because it's at some point you've got to beat the teams that are better than you to move up the standings. And I get that Salt Lake is a West Coast team, but it's a statement. It's a proof that something's working. And if you can pull it off, then yeah, by all means, like celebrate it, enjoy it, take those 3 points and run. Again, you're okay with a point, a draw. Cool. On the road. Yeah, for sure. But you got to always be shooting to climb up the table because you've dug yourself a big hole.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess what's your final prediction? Just your overall prediction for this match. Just me personally, I'm going to say maybe 2-0 or 3. Yeah, 2-0 RSL, I think. I think Arango certainly scores one. Maybe Luna. But I think Arango definitely gets his. So, like I said, 2-0 RSL. I don't think LA United wins this match, unfortunately. What do you think?
Oh, man. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'll say 2-1 Salt Lake.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. It's just trying to be reasonable, trying to be legit. I mean, it's just this is a tough ask. Like Almada gone. By the way, if you haven't seen the articles over on scarversandspikes.com, go check them out. Me and Sydney got some up today about Almada. So like every stat that you look at for Atlanta this year is kind of null and void at this point, because you don't have Thiago Almada and you don't have Giakoumakis, which, to be fair, Giakoumakis, that I think hurts a little bit less because he was out so much. But the playmaking, the goals per 90, the driving into the final third, like all of those stats kind of go out the window at this point. And now you've got to figure out a way to kind of change up the team a little bit and figure out a way to keep those numbers where they need to be to at least give yourself a fighting chance. And you did good, right? Like take the good things out of the last match. You did okay. You kept your foot on the gas the entire match. The mentality was there. That's one of the things that Rob has been preaching. You just couldn't get that last goal to tie it up. And admittedly, the defense lost that game for Atlanta. I mean, the defense has been great this season. They fell apart in the last match. So it's not all bad, but you've got to be better. And now you've got to go do it against a team that's really, really good.
Just real quick on that. I feel like Derek Williams, this form has kind of dipped a little bit for Atlanta United. I don't know if you agree. I don't know if you see the same thing, but I feel like his form has kind of dropped just a little bit. If he managed to go at home, he gave it the goal. He admitted, hey, that was on me to give it the goal. I feel like just from a larger standpoint, he hasn't been that strong. He's not been a terrible player, but he hasn't been that strong of a player as he was earlier this season. So you hope it's just kind of a blip, kind of just like a miniature drop in form. But hopefully we see him. Hopefully we see him come back to the player he was.
I think it might be a little up and down. I mean, because you look at the St. Louis game, and he was the one that kept you in that game the entire match, right? He was coming out of nowhere, making beautiful tackles, like very, very clear cut but close tackles that kept the team in the game. Last week, him and Stian Gregerson both had just really bad games, like really bad games. And yeah, Derek, he'll own it, right? He'll own the mistakes when he has them. We've, like you said, we've heard him in the locker room say that was on me. That was my fault. So, I mean, yeah. And Joe, like, I'll take him just having a bad week all day.
Yeah.
Hopefully that week is over now, because we're only 4 days removed.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, look, we've seen what he brings. We know the quality he has. I think he has the ability to bring the confidence back after having a bad game, be a goldfish kind of mentality. And he's going to have a good game tonight. He has to, because he doesn't have Stian next to him. He has, again, a veteran with Ronald, but not a true center back. And then you've got a young guy who is great in Noah Cobb. But there's a lot that you're going to have to handle in this one. And
sure.
It's not going to be easy. So you hope he has a man of the match performance.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I hope Daniel Rios has a man of the match performance.
Yeah, likewise. So that's Atlanta United versus RSL. We get coming up here in a little under an hour, but also some news. Of course, the Almada news announced this morning officially, but also some news update regarding Caleb Wiley. Tom Bogert saying they are progressing with Caleb Wiley, potential sale to Chelsea, or I should say Blueco, sell to Blueco Top Bullies. What?
I said not Blue Chew. Tommy's not here. Blueco.
Yeah, Blueco, which is Todd Bowley's group that owns Chelsea, Strasbourg, and several other clubs. Sounds like it's kind of similar to Almada's deal, essentially, where Wiley will be signed by Blueco, officially registered as a Chelsea player, but then lent to Strasbourg, maybe toward an eye toward maybe getting him in a little bit of time with Chelsea. Probably won't be a first-team player, but probably will just he'll be on the books officially for Chelsea, but he'll be a Strasbourg player for all intents and purposes. So the number that Tom Bogert has mentioned, he said things could change, but the number he has mentioned is $10 million, which is impressive bit of business for Atlanta United for a homegrown player, one that's come through your academy to the twos, and now is a consistent starter on your left side for Atlanta United. That's a terrific bit of business by your front office, and really a shout out to the academy, to the developmental team for Atlanta United to even get Caleb in this position to make this move. And it sounds like it's a matter of not if, but when. Everything is pointing toward this happening sooner rather than later. You have Amendola coming in a few weeks in time for Open Cup, or in time for Leagues Cup. And it seems like he'll be there for the time being. But yeah, like I said, it seems like a matter of when, if, for Caleb Wiley moving to Europe.
Yeah, and this is not like the George Bello situation.
Yeah,
George Bello, if you remember, kind of look. I mean, the offers came, and he said, "I want to go," and Atlanta didn't step in the way, which is, you got to give a shout out to the club. I think there were probably people in that situation saying, maybe you should wait. Maybe this isn't the best move for you. And then, of course, he goes and gets relegated twice. So, but this is not that situation. This is, you're not looking at a ownership group or a club or set of clubs that are realistically on the verge of having a problem, right? Besides being very poor stewards of their own money, but that's a different story. So, I mean, look, you got to give a huge shout out to Caleb. Like he's played his heart out. He's earned it. I think anybody that says that they thought Caleb would get $10 million is BSing, not because he doesn't deserve it, but because like that's a huge number for, especially for a homegrown, but you'll take it all day. And I do feel like Caleb still has a ceiling and a part of his play that he hasn't unlocked yet. And I don't know that he's going to unlock it in Atlanta, not because they don't have the quality or the team to do it, but sometimes it's just a matter of getting that different kind of environment and atmosphere and different voices in your ear teaching you things. So, I mean, yeah, if it comes along, you know, y'all have heard me for the longest time saying I would love to have Caleb Wiley or these homegrown guys like Aiden Torres, who we did an article about earlier this week, and some of these other guys coming up. Like at some point, you got to lock some of them down, but you also have to do what's best for the team and the best for the player overall. I mean, Caleb, look, if Chelsea's offering $10 million, you got to take it. You have to.
No, 100%. And that's you know, I don't. Some people probably joke about Chelsea and just how they've done the Premier League recent years, but there's still a very credible club, a top club.
I mean, Chelsea, I'll take as much money as y'all want to give me. Like, y'all exactly. Money out, send it my way.
Exactly. No kidding. But no, he'll of course be playing for Strasbourg, essentially, but he'll be on Chelsea's books. But still, you look at League and you joke about maybe it's a one-team league with PSG, but he'll still be going up against some of the best players in the world. And I don't know how much time he'll get with Strasbourg, but he'll get some time with them, and the Olympics are coming up too. So not officially announced, but we expect to see him on the Olympic roster here in the next few days. So very important month or two coming up for Caleb. And if he does well, if he has a terrific individual effort, that number will go up, I'm sure. But yeah, good on Caleb. Good for him. This is exciting for him. And yeah, as you were saying, Tyler, much better situation than George Bello. I feel like. So yeah, like I said, maybe when rather than if. I wouldn't expect to see him. Well, yeah, he'll be in the Olympics, but I wouldn't expect to see him back for Atlanta United. So I feel like maybe he won't have too much longer with this club. I feel like maybe Tuesday that'll be his last time with the club. So,
possibly. Yeah. There's a very distinct possibility that next year you could see Thiago Almada and Caleb Wiley playing against each other.
It's true.
Possibly.
It's true.
So
yeah.
Hey man, again, if it happens, great for Caleb. It's a great thing. I think as any player, any soccer player wants to go to Europe, wants to play in any France, Spain, England, Germany, even Austria. Like there's so many places that are just great, especially for a kid like Caleb, who is young and has literally his entire career. He had a head start, I think, on his career here in Atlanta. Like I don't think back in 2022 when he got his first start and he scored in that first game.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody expected him to have as many appearances and starts as he's had, and to now be on the verge of possibly making a $10 million move to, at least one of the bigger ownership groups in the world. That's awesome. And congratulations if it happens.
He's done well. I mean, so say his form hasn't been the same as it was in 2023 last year. It's kind of a breakout year for him, but largely he's done well. He's not hit his peak yet. He's still a very young player. He's not hit his peak, and I'm excited to see what peak Caleb Wiley will look like for Strasbourg or whichever club he ends up with in the future. So yeah, good for Caleb. Great stuff. And yeah, very possible, Dan, as you're saying, that Tuesday against in the 11, the US Open Cup could be Caleb's last match with Atlanta United, because their last home match for Atlanta United, I should say, because the next home match after that is July 20th against who are they playing? Yeah, July 20th against the Crew. Yeah, so it'll be very possible that he'll be already with the Olympic team by then, making the trip with them pre-Olympics. So yeah, possible.
Yeah. Again, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, for sure. Got anything else we want to touch on before we get out of here?
I don't think so. I feel like we're just
I do have to correct myself. Dylan saying in the chat Wednesday, July 17th against NYCFC. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
possible
back
that'll
to
be his
backs.
last match with the club. So last home match
Hey.
before the club. So yeah, any final thoughts?
No, you just got to go out and, again, the mentality's there. The mentality's there. I don't think even if this were to be a bad game, you can't judge Rob Valentino on a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if he can pull something out against a good team like this, yeah, I mean, you got to give him some credit because again, it's things that he's fixing.
Mm.
But we've also, I think, come to expect that this team has struggled on the road and has struggled against teams that are above them in the standings. And both of those things are true tonight. And so, yeah, you can't hate on a loss too much because of everything. I mean, Almada, Giakoumakis, all this news, everybody out, coming back, injuries, whatever.
Yeah.
If Rob can pull off a win with this crew, I mean, then you got to give him some props.
No, 100%. 100%. And yeah, it's going to be a tired bunch coming in on Tuesday's match. So kind of some management of the roster or the team because of that. So yeah, I would love I would love a point. I would be ecstatic over the moon with a win, but that's the reality. You have to face the reality we're in right now that you have 2 of your DPs have been sold. So if it's a loss, I don't think many people will complain.
No DPs playing tonight at all.
Yeah, exactly. I'm watching some of these other matches going on. Cincinnati is just absolutely putting a hurting on Inter Miami 5-1 in the 57th minute.
God.
Kubo just scored for a brace. But yeah, they are absolutely running away with this one. And of course, other matches going right now. It feels weird that Atlanta United aren't the 7:30 match, but yeah, 5-1 Cincy over Miami. Huge result for Cincinnati. Columbus just went up 2-0 over Toronto, 55th minute. Vancouver 1-0 over Montreal with 30 minutes to play. Orlando, yeah. Orlando 3-0 over DC, 54th minute.
That's also
Philly,
good for
yeah. And Philly and Red Bulls in a goalless draw right now in the 58th minute. Austin FC and NYCFC is an 8:30 kickoff. I believe that's weather delayed because I just checked the stats and yes,
they playing in Austin.
Yeah, that's in Austin. So that is delayed until
like crazy in Texas right now.
Yeah, so that's been pushed back until at least 8:55 or 9:55 or 10 o'clock Eastern time. So that's still a ways from kicking off. And then the 10:30 match, Sounders versus the Revs in Seattle. So got an update on everything else that's going on in MLS right now.
Sweet.
Cool. We'll be back with Spaces hopefully after the match. I know we'll be late, but we'll be there with you talking about the match, win, lose, or draw. And of course, Open Cup Tuesday. We'll be there giving coverage on the Open Cup against in the 11 at KSU. And yes, scarfandspikes.com, patreon.com/scarves and spikes, talking about some things that we're going to do there. Be on the lookout. And yeah, our socials. You know where to find us on social. So,
faux show.
That's it. Enjoy the match. We'll talk to you later on Spaces.
Have fun. I'll be live tweeting. Hopefully, lots of all caps.
Yeah. See you guys. Thanks.
See y'all.